Hello guys, and welcome to this video. So in today's video we have a lot to talk about. We're talking about a possible financial crisis and banking crisis that could unfold globally, but specifically how Canada would be worst affected. And not only that, we have the data and everything to back it up. You are not going to want to miss this video. So without further ado, let's do this. Alright guys, welcome back. So this video is really not to be missed, so please watch it to the end. I'm not sure how fast I'll get through this stuff, but I'll try my best to compress it down. And there's also going to be a link in the description to a longer video where they discuss this at length. George Gammon, it's one of his podcast videos with Emil, and I'm going to link it in the description. So just take a look at that video. It's an hour and 20 minutes long, and a lot of you may find it boring, but they are producing some really good points in that video that I think any Canadian, quite frankly, should be listening to that. And the other thing which I like about these statistics is that they're coming from BIS. This is not a Canadian company, it's not the Bank of Canada, it's not the government. All those statistics, you have to understand, the government and the Bank of Canada, they do not want to promote an environment that is just going to induce fear into the economy. They don't want to do that. And they will try their hardest to fluff up the statistics and do whatever it takes to make things look better than they are. Just like bank earnings and everything like that. So I suggest you really dive into more learning about monetary policy and how that wealth actually trickles down to everybody and how monetary stimulus is actually sent down to the economy, because it is very different to what you and I would think, which is through a central bank. It actually is going through the banking system. So anyway guys, let's dig into some of this data from BIS. So I'm going to put on the screen there early warning indicators for stress in domestic banking systems. Okay, so if you look at that, you can see right away that Canada is the only one on the list with 4 of these tripped. And that is a big issue, let me tell you. So I'm going to tell you why in just a second, but you can look at some of those other countries, and I want to highlight the United Kingdom, which is near the bottom, and I'm going to flash the other part up on your screen right now. But the UK is actually doing very well. It was kind of interesting to actually see that, because obviously with Brexit and everything, we're led to believe that the UK is a risky place to hold your investments. And if you don't know, I'm actually from the UK. So now we're thinking more about diversifying our banking back to the UK, because Canada is at a high probability chance of having a banking crisis, and everything works by probabilities, like I always promote on this channel. So without getting further off what I'm talking about here, I want to define what they're actually meaning banking crisis. What they're talking about is a systemic major banking crisis. This is not just a small bump in the road. This is something that is throughout the whole entire financial system. And they highlight 5 indicators for this. And Canada is the only country in the world to trip 4 out of 5 indicators. So what does this mean, and how does this equate to probabilities? Well, basically the BIS even puts a number on it. They say there's a 50% chance, and you might be saying, hey, hang on, 50%? That's not that much of a chance. That's huge. That is a humongous chance of a probability of a bank. We're talking about a banking crisis here, and not just a small banking crisis, a major banking crisis. How exposed the country is. 50% is essentially rolling the dice. That's pretty good odds. And the other thing is, Canada would have actually tripped 5 out of 5 indicators, but the fact is they'd already tripped the 5th by when this was measured, December 2018. So basically the BIS says that you move up to that 50% from, what is it, 7%. So 50% from 7%. That's a huge increase, okay? And the more of these you have, just think about the probabilities possibly going in excess of 50%, which seems likely. And the thing that they say is that jumps to 50% after you hit 3 years, after when they measured these countries tripping all these different things. So basically, they're saying that December this year, Canada moves up to 50% chance of a probability of a banking crisis. And like I said, not just a small banking crisis, but a major banking crisis. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, I'm telling you this so you can diversify. I think it's great to diversify anyway into different currencies. Like if you have a lot of cash saved up, you should always definitely have a certain amount in a different, more stable currency. And I've done this before as well. The first ever trade that I made was essentially putting all my money into Norwegian krone right before Brexit happened. And krone was basically a very, very stable currency. The volatility between the pound and the krone was very, very little. And the chances of it actually exploding higher, even if Brexit actually didn't happen, was very low. So I took on the risk and I said, you know what, I'm going to put a lot of my money into Norwegian krone. And that paid off massively because Brexit happened, because I was looking at the sentiment. I was looking at everything that other people and all the pollsters and everybody wasn't looking at. And that just comes from being a realist, just looking and speaking to people. So the fact is, December this year is when we move up to 50% chance of a banking crisis, according to the BIS, which is pretty damn alarming if you think about it. And the thing you also have to bear in mind is think about what's going on in China. We had another property developer missing a bond payment, and there is like a crisis brewing right now within China. And think about the contagion and how that will affect Canada. Canada is one of the worst places, as the BIS says in this report, for having foreign money coming into the economy. Now, most of us think about real estate, but we also don't think about business investments, stock market, everything like that. So Canada is one of the worst countries in the world for having foreign money coming into the country. And this is essentially what has propped up the economy for so long now. And the problem is that this is systemic. It is throughout the banking system. It's throughout the entire economy. We're not just talking about real estate. We're also talking about business investments and everything like that. So you have to kind of look at this and be serious and take it seriously, because it is something that can definitely affect the economy here and lead us into a recession. So how safe is your money in the bank in Canada? Well, you've got to ask yourself that question, because, you know, years ago, money was tradable for gold, and that was an insurance policy essentially against recklessness within the banking system. And then we had it where it was tradable for the currency, the paper. And now we have nothing. It's just digits on a screen. When you go someplace, how often are you paying in cash now? You're paying with your debit card and digits on a screen. And that in itself is something that you have to kind of weigh up. Is there actually value in your bank account? And this is something serious, guys, that I want you to consider, and I've thought this way for the past 4 or 5 years now, is when you have money in a bank account, little do you know, the bank is taking that money, they're lending it out, they're pumping it into investments. It's not there. We all like to picture that there's a vault with all our money in and it's just waiting there. But the fact is, it isn't. And you've got all these insurance policies, like the federal insurance policy on your money, but a lot of people don't realize that different things aren't covered, and that also if a bail-in happens, they can take your money, replace it with stock, which may be worthless at that point. There is so many things in the banking system that you need to be aware of, and that's why I just say diversify. My advice here is just diversify, diversify, diversify. Don't stick all your eggs in one basket. So 15 countries actually tripped 2 of these early warning indicators in December 2018, but there was only one country that tripped 4, and that country is Canada. So the thing is, guys, I just want this video to be not a doom and gloom video. We are ahead of what might be coming, may or may not happen. There's a 50% chance according to this, so that is pretty much rolling the dice. So you have time to do your preparations or not do your preparations, depending on what you feel. But I would urge you at the very least to take a look at this report after you watch the video that I'm going to link in the description. So anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please like the video. If you're a realtor or you don't like this video, you know what to do. Just jog on. I also want to thank all the ladies that have recently subscribed to this channel. We've had a hell of a lot of women that have joined the channel over the past week, which is really, really good because this channel was like 99% male and now it's like 89%. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it proved helpful in some way, and like I said, please go look at those links in the description for the BIS report and the video. I would say watch the video first, then read the report, see what you think, let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Peace and love as always. Bye bye.